Okay, good morning. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing pretty good. I got another movie that came out in 2009. It's a science fiction alien attack movie. It's called District 9. It starts off like a documentary. It's really interesting movie. This thing, I can't remember what year it came out in, but it's a really interesting movie. I kind of like it for a science fiction movie. It goes on the weird side sometimes. Yeah, this came out in 2009. I just said that too. Yeah, there goes my nose again, itching. I hate it when it happens. But anyway, so it's a second series of a movie set. Well, it's the first series of a movie set, but there was two movies in this series. I don't have the second one yet. I got to look at it, but it's about a bunch of creatures that came from another planet attacked, and they took up residence in a section of Africa, South Africa. So they're keeping them contained in a camp in an area there in South Africa. Probably why they put it there. And the creatures are stuck in the aliens are stuck in the camp, and they're trying to survive and get along, and they get locals, gang leaders, and all that stuff feeding them. They're talking about how they took over, what happened, the spaceship hanging over their community where they took up camp, and they talk about who's in charge and all kinds of weird stuff. They do a documentary series for the half of it. They nickname the creatures prawns because they look like a prawn according to the creator of the movie, or writer of the movie anyway. It was an interesting movie that they did it. They were little scientists trying to figure out how to get their weapons to work and all kinds of stuff, because it wouldn't work unless you were of that species. So they appointed their lead guy in the what is it? MNU, they called it. They drove around in big white cylinders with wheels on them. Armored government Mercenary United. Anyway, so my throat's crackling today. I don't know why. So anyway, these prawns were basically trying to put them in an internment camp and trying to keep them there, and about halfway through the movie they want to try to move them to a different camp, and they resisted and fought, and it became a whole thing. And then they started doing inspections with their lead journalist or guy, and he gets they find the inspections and find them and get them all kinds of things. One of the parents protects their kid young. They called him JC, and then apparently they're trying to get an underground ship going. While they're trying to get something going, they show for a while that it turns out to be an underground ship after we discovered. But when the lead inspector journalist finds something in this lab, makeshift lab made by the prawns, as they're calling them, the aliens from another world. He gets squirted with it because he's playing with it, looking at it. Nothing's, thinking they're too arrogant for themselves, and gets hurt. So they take him out of there immediately by airlift and take him to the hospital. Then he starts growing one of their claws on one of his arms. And it starts turning into one of them because of the thing. So he ends up escaping from the human medical facility to run around the city, and they make up all kinds of stories. He's changing because he was having sex with them and with the aliens and all kinds of fun stuff. So he tries to call his fiancée, and it turns out to be a pretty good movie. And then it ends up being an action thriller because him and his newfound friends go back to the facility he escaped from to get the little container he was infected by, so they could go start up a spaceship and get out. So one of them gets away, and then the ship takes off, and the our star turns into something at the end. I'm not going to quite tell you the whole story, but no, I like this movie. I like science fiction. It wasn't the best science fiction movie. The effects kind of suck a little bit, but they did a pretty good job with the way they set this whole thing up. The storyline was pretty good. It was easy to follow once they got past the documentary format. Nose itches. I hate that, but it itches. Once they got past the documentary format, fix that in a few minutes. Once they got past the documentary format, it turned out to be a pretty good movie. Action, biological DNA scrubbers. They had all kinds of blood and guts all over the place in the lab, and the shootings and the attack, and the ship gets shot down. The way they were running it as a conservation camp or a boot camp from Japanese era World War II. Hogan's Hero type of thing. Turned out to be a pretty good movie. And they did pretty good at the box office too, because they seemed to like it. So anyway, this movie was released by Sony Pictures. The release dates is July 23rd, 2009. SDCC, I don't know where that's at. August 30th, 2009, New Zealand. August 14th, 2009, United States. August 28th, 2009, South Africa. It ran 120 minutes. Countries it was made in, I guess, is New Zealand, United States, and South Africa. So they were all over the place with that one. English format. They spent $30 million making the thing, and at the box office it made $210.8 million. So I guess I wasn't the only one that likes weird creature features. I'd classify this as a not to show to kids type movie unless they're used to blood and guts. I'm pretty sure they rated this as an R, restricted, or yeah, they rated this one as a rated R, and it turned out to be a pretty good movie. And you know, I got some odd movies in my collection, ones that most people don't hear about, but you know, this has got to be one of the interesting low budget films that I've seen that used special effects. They weren't good ones, but they were special effects. They were great in the movies. In the movie, they did like I said, they did a good storyline. I kind of liked it. This is one of those movies that you can only watch once or twice. Then it kind of gets boring to watch after that. But you know, once a year, watch this sucker. It's great. It turned out to be a pretty good movie, and I'd recommend it to just about anybody I know if they like creature features. If you don't like alien takeovers and derogatory names and creatures being treated like dogs or animals, then you probably shouldn't watch this movie. But this is a movie that I definitely is part of my collection, and I kind of like it. So we'll see what happens to then. So anyway, hopefully everybody got through the holiday seasons pretty well. I know I barely made it through, but I made it anyway. Hopefully things turn out to be better in the future for everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Bye.